Hello, my name is Micah the Mighty and thanks for watching my video. Today we're looking at another in the series on how you can actually break the Defiance bar of certain creatures, and today we're going to be looking at the Ranger profession. One thing I will clarify before we start is that the pets do have a large amount of different abilities dependent on what creature you're actually using. And things like Taunt are very good. These all tend to be soft CC skills, but when you look at some of the, for example, mowers, they have like a Screech, which is a Daze. So if we look Juvenile Black Mower, if I switch to this, you'll see what its elite skill. That's a 2-second Daze, and that's a hard CC. So you can actually use some of the pets, but I'm not actually going to cover any of the pets because you can go down and have a look for yourself. So let's actually look at some of the weapons. Now the Rangers does have a large amount of weapons available, and we're going to go down through them and then we'll actually show them off in practice. So the actual sword doesn't actually have anything particularly. The auto attack's kind of difficult to do. I think you get a cripple off one of the chains, one of the sword chains, but generally it's pretty poor crowd control skill. We actually look at the longbow here. These first two skills are nothing, but the third skill is a stealth, so again, nothing there. You've got a soft CC with the barrage cripple, but it's the skill here, point blank shot. Very, very effective. A big knockback, and it's a great way to remove the Defiance bar. It's also very useful. You can see where I actually am in Auric Basin. If you're doing the meta event and you actually at the south side for knocking forward the bomb, this is pretty much the best effective way to knock something back, and very good to do that. We come onto the short bow and we get bleeding, which has done nothing to do with the Defiance bar, neither's poison. You've got nothing for quick shot. You've got a cripple, which is a soft CC, very, very little. But then we get this concussion shot, which is daze and stun, so it's a pretty effective way to remove some of the Defiance bar, which you'll see later. The axe, you get bleed, you get just a normal one, and you get a chilled, which again is something that you can do a soft CC, but generally is not too bad. Nothing. You've got a pull here with Path of Scars. You throw your axe so that it returns to you, striking foes each way. This can do a bit of CC damage, but very few people will run axe because it's really ineffective. It's a 15-second cooldown, not really too worthwhile taking. And then you've got Whirling Defense, which does nothing regarding the CC. Crippling Talon, Dagger Offhand is the way you can actually remove Defiance bar there. We move on to the Greatsword. The first three skills, nothing at all. We get a knockback with counter attack. Now this only actually takes place if your foe attacks you, in which case it will do a knockback. If your foe is static, it won't do anything at all. But then we also have Hit Bash. This does a substantial amount with a daze and stun, so the Greatsword is actually pretty useful. Then we actually have Staff. Now the Staff, I actually haven't used it yet on this character, but the first two skills do nothing, neither does Ancestral Grace. Vine Surge doesn't mount because it's got that Immobilize, which again is the CC removal, the Defiance bar removal, sorry. Nothing for skill 5. Torch does nothing, and neither does the Warhorn. So it doesn't have too many skills compared to a lot of other professions. So let's actually look at some of the utility skills. We're actually in combat here, but what that'll give me, there we go, we're out of combat now. We can actually see healing. We actually don't have anything to do, again, nothing for the CC. Let's actually go through. You've got nothing to do here. This is your pet skills. Taunt is a very good one. Again, it's a soft CC because of the because it's a condition as opposed to a hard CC, which is a direct strike like Daze or Stun. Guard does nothing, and neither does Search and Rescue. None of the spirits would do anything at all either for regarding the Defiance bar, and you don't really have anything apart from Muddy Terrain regarding the survival skills. Again, that's Immobilize for 2 seconds and Cripple as well. Regarding the Signets don't actually do anything again for the removal of the Defiance bar. Then we come into traps. Now, Spike Trap does a lot because it's a launch, but it launches them up, and this can do a big removal of the Defiance bar. The Flame Trap does nothing, but the Immobilize that you get from the Elite skill Entangled does well. That's the only one that really does anything for the Defiance bar. Other skills you obviously have things like Viper's Nest, which is I'm traded to cripple all of the with the traps, but we'll go with the Frost Trap as well. Oh, handily enough, I got an event reward because being in, he actually hit me. I got some credit there. Nice. So if you want more detailed explanation on the Defiance bar, there are some of the other videos that I've already done. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to go and we're going to use the longbow, and we're actually going to use, we actually are going to use the Greatsword, because these are the two that you really want to see first. So let's actually open them up. What we'll do, we'll put the traps down, get ready for them, and let's open them up. So you can see here, you've got a full Defiance bar. Let's see if he comes towards me. Let's pull him over, use the traps, watch the traps, what damage they do to the CC, the Defiance bar. I'm going to pull my pet because my pet's actually aggroed. So there we go, look at that. Already he's losing a lot. And then we're going to go with skill 4. Again, substantial amount. And we use our pet's F2 skill there to actually come in. And let's see what that does. He's actually using the Screech now, and there you go. So we've removed the Defiance bar. Very, very effective with a couple of skills. You've got obviously the Spike Trap's very, very good because it's a big CC skill. And we're just going to pop onto our other pet so that we can't do any more. So we've got the Defiance bar back up. Let's actually use Barrage to do a bit of crippling going on. And you'll see it's not very much being taken away from the Defiance bar. We'll use our skill 4 again. That does a lot. Then we're going to go in with the Greatsword. Let's use the skill 5 and then skill 4. We're actually blocked, but we didn't quite hit that off there. Let's usually use the Immobilize using the Elite skill. And again, you'll see how dramatically Immobilize actually does a huge amount to the Defiance bar that the other typical conditions don't actually generally do. So there we go, guys. That is the Ranger. Now, again, the Ranger has one of those... It's not one of the particular professions that have a lot of access to massive amounts of CC, but what it does have access to is some very, very good CC skills, particularly things like point-blank shots, and also you've got the Hilt Bash, as well as some of that with the Spike Trap. And these can, in conjunction, can remove the Defiance bar of a boss very, very effectively. We did actually look at some of the other skills, but there are other things like traits so that you can actually have, like the Warden, that will actually, when they hit the F2, you actually taunt them. So again, you're removing some of the Defiance bar as well. So you should keep an eye on some of the different traits that can actually improve some of your skills. And you've got, for example, boons and traps cause. So I've actually got this skill equipped now. You can see all the traps cause cripple. Other things that you can actually use, you've got nothing else here that removes Defiance bar. You've got this if you fall down, which is a rare occasion next to an enemy, but you will able to cripple them. So something slight there as well. So yeah, a few different skills there, but the Ranger not too much in the sense of Defiance from the wide-ranging ability. But it does have access to some pretty powerful ones. For the Ranger, as I said, what I would recommend, longbow, point-blank shot, very, very effective, and it's one of the mainstays of the Ranger profession. I hope this has been a little useful guide for those of you who are Ranger. One thing I actually haven't covered at all has been the actual Druid stats. So what we're going to do, we're going to pop onto the Druid, and we're going to equip here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into Staff, and you'll see here I've actually finally got access to it. Excuse me while I just mine away. And what we're going to do, we have to build up our Celestial Avatar to actually get access to some of these skills. What I'm going to do as well, we've got other skills, so we've got the Glyphs. Let's actually have a look at these. We actually have Glyph of Equality. We don't actually have anything for Glyph of Empowerment. Neither does, if we actually can look at these traits, these Glyphs. So let's actually look at the Glyph. If you actually can see here, it shows you the difference when you're in an Ancestral Grace or the sort of avatar, Celestial Avatar. So it says tether yourself to nearby allies, and that's basically a damage or a heal. We also have the one we actually don't have equipped is this one here. This is the Glyph of the Tides. Very, very effective in the raid. So please, if you are just looking at the Ranger and what to take for sort of knockbacks, the longbow is very effective, but the Glyph of the Tide is really as a massive pushback. Think of those red orbs if you are in the Veil Guardian raid. the Glyph of the Tides will move those away, particularly if you're actually having to stand in the green circles. Very, very effective. So we look here, we've actually got, with this one here, this is damage and apply conditions, or heal and remove conditions, so nothing major there. And then you've got Glaze of Equality, so this is a daze nearby foes or break stun for nearby allies. So again, something good. And so when you're actually in the Druid form, you will actually get access to a number of different Defiance removal bars. You can see here this is a veteran arrowhead, so let's actually go and use Glyph of Equality. You can see there we've removed a lot. Let's try and use, so we got Glyph of Adjustment, which will do some soft CC, as we're getting owned here. So we'll use, we're going to use our, let's see, what have we got? Let's go back in, let's use our, we missed that there. I'm going to try and see if we can block it. There we go. Didn't quite hit it though, unfortunately, with the Greatsword. We'll go use our, back into Staff. So we've actually, I don't know why it unlocked that final skill there. Let's actually move away. I'm going to change him because I don't actually have Glyph of the Glyph of Tides equipped. So let's pop out of range and get our Glyph of Tides. So here we go, Glyph of the Tides. We've got the champion arrowhead. Let's go and see how much this can do to the champion arrowhead. So we come in, we'll use the soft CC. So it's got that mobilized. You can see it going down already. And Glyph of the Tides. Boom. You can see that big wave that pushed out. Not too much done to the Defiance bar, but it's that big knockback again. It's used in different situations. Again, if we have already gone through and looked at all the different glyphs and what they're actually their celestial avatar skills are, none of them remove the Defiance bar. So that is basically the Ranger. Hopefully this has been a useful guide. Hopefully I haven't forgotten anything. If you do have any suggestions, as I said, I didn't cover any of the pets really because, again, it's for you to actually go in and look and decide which ones works best for yourself, because there are so many different pets here. I really don't have time to go through every single one, but what you want to be doing is looking at their special skill and actually looking at, you can go and see here what damage they actually do here. We can look at again, if we swap pets, you've got the vulnerability that it does, but it's the special skill that is that Daze and Screech, which does a 2-second daze. So thank you very much for watching my video. Please leave any comments in the section below, and I'll see you in the next one.